everybody? It's JetsCentral coming back with the first preview video of the season. We got the Buffalo Bills at the New York Jets, 1 o'clock kickoff on Sunday, right? And plus, how cool is it that the Jets are starting off the season against an AFC East rival, right? An AFC East opponent in the Bills. And it's funny, interestingly enough, I've always viewed these games almost like they're worth a game and a half because, yes, obviously, if your team wins, you start off the year 1-0. And you get your divisional win, you get a conference win that kind of plays more of an effect later on in the season when they're trying to determine, a wild card push or like seeding in the playoffs, which actually came back to haunt us back in 2015, the year of Fitzmagic, where the Steelers got in and the Jets did not get in. That's what it kind of came down to. So yes, these games are important, but you also have to remember that if the Jets were to go out and win this Sunday, you're also putting a Buffalo Bills team behind the 8 ball, below 500 entering week 2. I do not think that should go unnoticed, right? I don't think that should go unnoticed. So let's hop in. Actually, you know what? Before I hop it right into the preview video, first order business for the people of South Carolina, right? The people living in South Carolina that are currently getting hit by Hurricane Dorian. I just want to say, wish you guys some luck. Just want to say that I'm thinking about you guys. I grew up in Florida, dealt with a lot of hurricanes, some pretty bad, some not so bad. And I know for the first time, they could, it's a scary process, right? Kind of just sitting through the hurricane, kind of going through it. So I know you guys are getting hit pretty bad right now, and I'm really, really hoping, I got my fingers crossed for you guys, that the storm is going to move quickly and it's going to be over before you know it. So just wanted to wish you guys some luck and good luck with everything. So let's hop right into the preview. So what do I want to see from this New York Jets offense, right? Because when I look across the line of scrimmage, I look at this Bills defense. I could literally sit here and talk about the Bills defense for hours, about how many good playmaking, solid players they have on defense. Whether you're talking about Tre'Davious White, whether you're talking about Tremaine Edmonds, who's going to be a top 10 linebacker at the end of the season. He's one of my favorite players in the league. Whether you're talking about Jordan Poyer, whether you're talking about Micah Hyde, whether you're talking about Ed Oliver, first round pick in this last April, first round pick out of Houston, a guy who I really wanted the Jets to get, defensive tackle, defensive end, wherever you really want to play him, absolute dominant beast. So this Bills defense has a lot to work with, right? They have a lot of solid pieces, and also when you take a look back at 2018, this Bills defense won the Bills a lot of games, especially considering that they started a rookie on offense, a rookie quarterback in Josh Allen, considering that they were kind of shaky at the position. Matt Barkley had it, he had some time. We had Nathan Peterman early on in the season. I really felt like with the Bills' turbulent offensive play, the Bills' defense really, really stepped up, and they showed that they could be a great, great group. Now you just have to plug in, or hope for not as many turnovers, not as much stalling on offense, and all of a sudden you could be looking at this Bills team as a playoff team. So we cannot count the Bills out. Yes, they were picking in the top 10, but the Jets were picking at 3, and there's a lot of fans, there's a lot of media members backing the Jets, saying, "Hey, the Jets could be a playoff team." I'm just saying, the Bills, on the other hand, we have to watch out for them too. This is a really good bunch. So again, going back to what I was alluding to before, what do I want to see from this offense going up against this great Bills defense, especially to start the season off too? So we don't really know how these teams are going to pan out. I think the number one thing that we should focus on offense is the short passing game for Sam Darnold, for 2 reasons. Number one, I think that's what's best suited for our team. When you look at Adam Gase's play calling back in Miami, when you look at his play calling throughout the preseason, when you look at the players on the offense, whether it's Quincy Enunwa, Jamison Crowder, a lot of guys on this offense seem to do best with getting the ball in their hand early and then kind of racking up yards after the catch. Whether even if you want to talk about the running backs like Ty Montgomery, Le'Veon Bell, even Bilal Powell to a certain extent, Trent Cannon too. I feel like this team is really suited for getting the playmakers the football quick in the play, not really having Sam Darnold do a lot of 8-step dropbacks, a lot of play action under center, and kind of stretching the ball down the field, right? 20, 25, 30-yard passes over the middle of the field. I don't really think that's what's best suited for this offense. So I want to see a lot of short passing, a lot of slants, a lot of screens, a lot of mesh routes, a lot of crossing patterns. That's where I really felt like the Jets excelled in preseason. Obviously, I know it's preseason. I know it wasn't the true playbook, but against the Giants, we rolled. When we were kind of clicking on all cylinders, when Sam was going 6 for 6, 5 for 6, 5 for 7 on offense right throughout the preseason, the offense was moving, right? And it was such a beautiful sight because I'm so used to seeing a Rex Ryan led offense. I'm so used to seeing a Todd Bowles led offense where it just stalls and it's stagnant and it's stale and it's just stifling at every turn, right? Every single drive, it would just be, it was almost like we were going up against like 15 men on defense. It was just very, very hard to watch. So going into year 2 for Sam Darnold, I want to see us establish the short passing game. Also, by establishing that short passing game, 1, 2, 3, when that back foot hits the turf, balls out. A lot of one read, easy targets or easy route concepts, right? Just one read, half field reads, boom, balls out. It kind of neutralizes or puts the threat of the Buffalo Bills defenders at bay a little bit. You don't have to worry about great safety play and all that stuff when really the goal of the play is as soon as I say hike, right? As soon as the ball is snapped, I know exactly where I'm going with the football, and it's going to be my first read. If you can get Darnold in a rhythm like that early and maybe get his stats like 8 for 11, right, 9 for 12, somewhere in that range, kind of where he's sitting at that, like around like the end or midway through the second quarter, I think if the game is tied late, 17-17, 20-20. Now all of a sudden, he spent the day completing passes. Now, if he's asked to make that throw deep, if he's asked to make that throw over the middle, he's going to have the confidence to do that, as opposed to, having stats like 8 for 25, right, where it's just been rocky and you're asking Darnold to do a lot, really establish the passing game through the air more vertically. I think it's really, really important to get Darnold in a rhythmic or in a rhythm early on into the game, and also get a lot of people involved. And of course, these are all easier said than done, obviously, because the Bills do possess a great defense. But we got to spread it out. I don't want us to feed Le'Veon Bell and give him his 50 touches like he wants. I don't want us to target Robbie Anderson 10 times in the first half or anything crazy. I want us to spread the ball around. Let's keep the defense on their toes, keep them guessing, and really just present a lot of threats, right? Show them one thing and then do another. So really the next thing I want to see from the offense is 2 running back sets. I want to see Le'Veon Bell and Ty Montgomery in the game, really specifically from the shotgun. Darnold being in the shotgun, obviously. All 3 in at the same time. I felt as though Ty Montgomery had an excellent preseason. Yes, we signed Le'Veon Bell. Yes, Darnold was out there making plays. Yes, the offensive line looked great when we went up against first teamers. And yes, of course, I do know it's preseason here. But I thought Ty Montgomery, he's going to be the Swiss Army knife that we can just bring out, or almost like our power move, or our secret weapon on offense, because everybody's going to be focused on how do I guard Robbie Anderson over the top? How do we apply pressure to Sam Darnold? How do we neutralize Le'Veon Bell, the big money free agent signing that the Jets signed? How do we stop Quincy Enunwa, the young and emerging wide receiver / tight end hybrid that the Jets have? Nobody's going to be talking about Ty Montgomery. This is a guy who you could hand him the football up the middle, you could pitch it to him to the outside, you could throw him a screen, you could line him up kind of in that slot area, because he actually, believe it or not, had a lot of wide receiver snaps, kind of throughout his career, whether it's Baltimore, Green Bay, Stanford. This is a versatile player, right? A versatile player who also helps out on special teams. Very underrated trait. So I want to see 2 running back sets, because instantly, when Le'Veon Bell's in the game, the Bills are going to be thinking, he hasn't played in a long time, might feed him the football. He didn't really play all preseason. Watch out for Le'Veon Bell. Ty Montgomery can slip through the cracks here. So I want to see a lot of 2 running back sets. So really that's just kind of the goal on offense. Get Sam in a rhythm early, establish the short passing game, and confuse the Bills defense by a lot of weird looks, right? Ty Montgomery, Le'Veon Bell in at the same time out of the shotgun. It's funny, back in 2011, I remember watching Michigan Wolverines, not Detroit, obviously. The Michigan Wolverines, they ran a lot of 2 running back sets. They even ran a lot of 2 quarterback sets. Both quarterbacks at the time were mobile quarterbacks, Devin Gardner and Denard Robinson, and it confused the hell out of defenses. They would line up, and nobody really knew what was going on, because it could be a throw, it could be, like a quarterback draw, it could be a handoff to a quarterback. You didn't know which quarterback it was going to go to, and it was just really, really confusing. It put a lot of defenses kind of, like everybody's kind of looking around, like, or everybody was playing a little hesitant. Nobody was in full attack mode because nobody knew what was going on. Both guys could throw, both guys could run. Nobody knew which guy the ball was going to go to start the play. So keep the Bills defense guessing. As we switch gears and talk about the defense, we need to keep Joshua Allen in the pocket. Josh Allen is one of the most underrated quarterbacks. I still to this day, and yes, I'm a Jets fan, obviously, but I still love Josh Allen. This guy can play football. He has the arm strength. He has the mobility. He has the size. He has the head on his shoulders. He has the toughness and the competitiveness to win a lot of games in this league. I think he's the perfect fit for the Buffalo Bills, right? He makes throws that some guys, some NFL quarterbacks can only dream about. We have to keep him in the pocket. And yes, he is tall. Yes, he does have a good arm. So keeping him in the pocket isn't going to affect him as much as maybe a Tyrod Taylor, a shorter quarterback that kind of needs to escape to see through the lanes or to really not deal with the offensive line, to escape, or even maybe like a Lamar Jackson to a certain extent. But Josh Allen, we got to keep him in the pocket. When he is at his best, he's moving around. He's running around kind of like you'd see like a Patrick Mahomes. He's extending the play like an Aaron Rodgers, and he's firing the football downfield on improv. He is picking up first downs with his legs. We got to keep Allen in the pocket. In the pocket. So also to kind of branch off of keeping him in the pocket, right? It's really surrounding him to where he can't escape and extend plays. We have to shorten the length of the play. How do we do that? A lot of man press. I don't want to see a lot of zone, especially with this Jets cornerback, with the secondary. Well, I should say cornerback because May and Jamal are obviously studs, but cornerback play especially, with Trumaine Johnson coming off a very, very shaky season. And the injuries and the depth at the Jets cornerback position, it's a scary thought. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you. It's a scary thought. So we have to shorten the length of the play. How do we do that? We got to play bump and run coverage. We have to play man press. If we could keep Allen in the pocket where he can't escape and he is forced to go through reads, we have to play man on man. If we're playing this 8-yard, where the corners are lining up 8 to 9 yards, away from the wide receivers, it doesn't matter if we keep them in the pocket or not. These guys are going to be open early and often. So we got to play man press. We got to keep Allen in the pocket. And we got to blitz Allen early and often up the middle. I feel like that's crucial because if Allen can't escape, right? If he can't stick his front foot in the ground and roll back out, to get around the left tackle, to get around the right tackle, if we could send blitzes up the middle, right? Guys like C.J. Mosley, that's going to be pretty tough. If Allen can't go, right, and he is forced to go through 1, 2, 3 check down, whatever it might be, half field, full field, it doesn't really matter. If he's forced to go through that because there's no exit avenues for him to leave to extend the play, and he's getting blitzed up the middle, and he's seeing that early and often as a young quarterback, that will affect him moving forward throughout the game. So I believe those are my keys. I want to hear your thoughts. I want to hear your thoughts down below in the comment section. What do you want to see from this Jets team, this Jets offense, this Jets defense, this Jets special teams unit? And we'll go from there. So let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. I cannot wait for Sunday. It's going to be great. There's so many good games that are going to be on TV. It's going to be awesome. So let me know your thoughts. And as always, thanks so much for watching, and go Jets.